MediaTek just dropped some really wild news, and honestly, part of it sounds amazing. The other part, yeah, not so much. Let's break it down. So you've probably heard of the Dimensity 9600, MediaTek's upcoming flagship chip. We all thought it was just going to be one chip, one version, done. But nope, turns out there's going to be a Pro version too. And this thing, it's trying to do something no smartphone chip has really done before. Now, this comes from a leaker on Weibo called Digital Station, and if you follow mobile chip news at all, you know this account doesn't just make stuff up. They've got a solid track record. So when they say the Dimensity 9600 Pro is targeting 5 GHz, that's worth paying attention to. 5 GHz. That's not a phone number. That's a clock speed you'd normally only see on a desktop PC, like the kind of computer sitting on your desk with a massive fan blowing air through it. And MediaTek wants to squeeze that into your pocket. Bold move. Very bold move. Now, to actually get there, they changed the whole layout of how the chip's cores are set up. The previous chip, the Dimensity 9500, had just one super powerful core doing the heavy lifting. One. The 9600 Pro, it's getting 2 of those super cores. Think of it like a race car engine. Instead of 1 turbo, you now have 2. More power, more speed, more performance across the board. And the CPU setup they're going with is called a 2 plus 3 plus 3 cluster. That's never been done by MediaTek before, so this is a first. 2 super cores up front, then 2 groups of 3 cores handling everything else. It's a smart way to split the work. Heavy tasks go to the top cores, everyday stuff goes to the rest. So that all sounds great, right? Here's where it gets complicated. Heat. That's the problem. Big, ugly, unavoidable heat. When you push a chip that hard, 5 GHz is insane for a phone. It gets hot, really hot. And on a desktop PC, that's not a big deal because you've got a huge metal heatsink, fans blowing air around, tons of space to cool things down. But on a phone, you've got basically nothing. The best a phone can do is a vapor chamber, which is basically a tiny flat heat pipe inside your phone, and maybe some extra liquid cooling if the manufacturer goes all out. And here's the thing, even with all of that, it's still not enough. The chip will overheat, and when it does, it's going to throttle. That means it automatically slows itself down to stop from burning up. So instead of staying at that insane 5 GHz, it's going to drop down to around 4 to 4.2 GHz during normal use. Which, okay, 4 GHz is still really fast, don't get me wrong. But if they're out here promising desktop-level speeds and the phone can only actually hold those speeds for like a few seconds before pulling back, that's something you need to know about before getting excited. Now, there is a silver lining here. MediaTek is using TSMC's latest 2nm chip-making process, specifically something called N2P, and a newer, more advanced manufacturing process usually means the chip runs more efficiently. More efficient means less heat. Less heat means maybe there's enough breathing room to actually hit those high speeds more consistently. So there's hope. It's not a guaranteed disaster, but it's also not a guaranteed win. One more thing worth mentioning, MediaTek is using ARM CPU designs for this chip. They're not building their own custom cores like Qualcomm does with their Orion architecture, and some people think that could mean MediaTek's chip runs a little less efficiently by comparison. More heat, faster throttling. We'll have to wait and see if that actually plays out that way in real life. So here's the big picture. MediaTek is swinging for the fences. They want a chip that competes directly with Qualcomm's best, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro, which is also chasing those insane clock speeds. And on paper, the Dimensity 9600 Pro looks like a real challenger. But the cooling situation is a real problem. Until someone figures out how to keep a 5 GHz chip cool inside a slim phone, we're probably always going to be looking at these burst speeds, fast for a moment, then backed off. It's like a sprinter running full speed. They can do it, but not for long. What I'm curious about is how phone makers handle this. Do they start making phones thicker to fit better cooling? Do they add a fan? Yes, some phones actually have fans now, or do they just market the peak speed and hope nobody notices the throttling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you trade a slightly thicker phone for better performance? Because that might genuinely be where this is heading. And if this video helped you make sense of all the chip stuff, hit like. It actually helps a lot. More of this coming soon.